Hey, Donna, William here. Just wanted to say thank you so much for your journal entry for this week. Um, like I said, the last couple of weeks I've seen that you've really been having some very nice reads on your journal entries, and like I said, you really got me intrigued. I ain't gonna lie to you. Very interesting stories and interesting life lessons, and just so much into it. This week in particular, you kind of touched home for me on exploring, like you said, like family history when it comes to therapy. Man. And and seeing, reading about how your clients were, talking about how, today in one of your clients' 60s that they struggle with feelings of unworthiness and social awkwardness, and excuse me, and I think it all plays, like you said, I think it played into the position of as to, her neglect and from her mother as a child, and abuse and neglect as a child. You know, um, like you said, you don't want to think about it, don't want to talk about it when it comes to trauma growing up, and just growing up in in a place where you don't think that it doesn't take a hold of you, take effect of you, but it honestly does. That's why I think about today. You know, in general, we have to be mindful of what we say and do in front of children, or just to hopefully not to mess their world up, mess their life up or anything like that. I mean, yes, it's hard, but as life is, what they're gonna grow up any way that they see fit and that they see whatever as example. But at the end of the day, it's just doing your best not to mess them up, is to a point where it affects them in the long run. Um, Quick testimony. So I grew up in a household with my mom and my dad, and my older brother, who's 4 years older than me. So I'm the baby in the family. In that in that household, I know I told you recently, like last week, how my mom kind of deals with bipolar issues and a little bit of depression, and and then that honestly was going on way before that, when my aunt Martha, her twin, passed. But that time frame when my aunt did pass, my mom wasn't working, so it was really hard on my dad. But even when my mom was working and my dad was working, unfortunately, um, sometimes bills wasn't paid. I'm not sure why, but we had to pretty much live in the dark sometimes. Our lights were out, and we had no electricity, nothing running the house. That would happen periodically, but I remember it really happening while my mom was in her state of depression and things. But you know, it takes effect. To this day, I'm always saving my money, make sure the bills are paid. I'm recently married, so my wife, she always tells me, look, babe, you good, I got you. Whatever got to do, you know. I bring my half to the table, and even when I still bring my half to the table, sometimes I feel like it's not enough. Or, I'm just trying to make sure everything's paid off, doing this and that, and because of my trauma of living without electricity, at some point in my life, I also lived without hot water at a time. Um, and it's it follows me because I'm always looking over my back, over my shoulder, and trying to make sure everything's straight, everything's good, the bills are on, the bills are paid, the lights are on, the water running. And it's just that thing that follows me because I want to make sure that everything's paid. And it's that trauma that it sticks with you. Um, but it also taught me a lesson. It taught me to be we lived through that. Even through that situation. My brother and I always made it a great deal to make the best out of these things. So our lights were out. We had to put the look like them candles up. Flashlights, shine them up to the ceiling. To play board games, play Monopoly, Sorry, all type of stuff. Play hang and seek in the dark. You don't do your best to make right about it. But I remember a time where I honestly just was tired of it. I was sick of it, and I kind of was in middle school at the time, and I kind of asked for help. I reached out a little bit, and luckily for my the counseling our counseling department at my middle school, they helped us out. They helped my mom and my dad out, and that was a case where And honestly, that was a case where CPS possibly could have been called. And like I said, thank God, by the grace of God, it didn't. But my parents, it wasn't like that situation. It was just one of those things. But we always took it as a family, and I felt like I kind of betrayed the family, even that trauma. You know what I'm saying? You feel like you're betraying your family. You really just want to help, and But at the end of the day, we don't try to do. You do your best not to put your kids through things like that. But at the end of the day, it made us stronger, and I'm really, I'm gonna definitely take that with me. When when Cheryl and I start having kids, and I'm gonna always make sure the lights are on, always make sure the water running, hot or cold. But I went a little too far. Thank you so much, Donna, once again for your journal entry. God bless. Have a safe week. Happy Independence Day.